to Hollywood. Hollywood actor and producer Hakim Kae-Kazim, who gets on our Spotlight segment today. We will take the Nigerian-British actor down memory lane to discuss some of his early experiences in Hollywood, filming his breakout movie Hotel Rwanda, Pirates of the Caribbean, Wolverine, and a host of others. He will also shed light on his contributions to some of the continent's most notable film festivals he has been a part of, including the Africa International Film Festival and the Zuma International Film Festival.
My name is Hakim Kae-Kazim, and it's been fantastic to be here on the Spotlight segment for Entertainment News. Thank you so much for having me.
We are glad to have you here as well, Hakim. Let's dive straight into it. Just recently, you were a part of the Africa International Film Festival. You've been a part of the major festivals over the years. Why is participating in film festivals around the world important to you? And could you please share with us some of your personal experiences and highlights from festivals you've attended?
For me, it's been really amazing meeting these the fellow filmmakers and directors and producers and actors from the continent, and to see their ambition, to see their keenness, to see their willingness, and to see the hard work that is going into trying to make their films. It's always a highlight to come back to the continent and be involved and be surrounded by filmmakers that are trying to tell a myriad of different stories from the continent. And I'm also interested in collaboration. The new word out there is, how do we collaborate as African filmmakers, to get our stories out there.
Very, very impactful and inspiring. You made your directorial debut in Hollywood flick It's the Blackness. I learned it isn't out yet, but I definitely am looking forward to seeing it. What was it like being behind the camera for the first time?
Yeah, well, so my directorial debut and what it was like, I had a fantastic time. I was very nervous initially about being behind the camera. I was asked to do this. It wasn't something, I was developing my own film, and then somebody came in and asked me to do this as a director. So it was a bit nerve-wracking initially, but I must admit I had a fantastic time. And it's a film which I shot in the UK, in London. And it's a film about a Nigerian family and the two boys that go to university in London, and then they finish university, their degree, and they come out and they try and get jobs, but then they find out that they're facing a glass ceiling, and it's a comedy about these young guys' journey to find themselves, to find jobs. It's about love, it's about family, and it was a wonderful experience for me doing that, and doing a Nigerian story in London about the Nigerian diaspora, because it's very much sort of, I wouldn't say it's autobiographical, but it has very similar sort of feelings to my life as a young man of African Nigerian descent, having grown up and lived in the United Kingdom.
Interesting. So we all know you as an actor, and just now we are finding out about your directorial debut. Tell us more about your other creative vehicles.
As a producer, I produced a film which came to AFRIF, which I think I'm not sure if you managed to see it, but called Masinga the Calling, which was a film that we did in South Africa, and it's gone to some major festivals. That will be coming out on television in certainly in South Africa and on Showmax, I think, in the new year. So that's the other stuff I've done is recently is a show called Muzzle 2, which is an American movie with Aaron Eckhart, and so those are the things I've been working on recently.
So let's go back to you as an actor. You've made a major impact as an actor in Hollywood, starting from your first big break in the Oscar-nominated film Hotel Rwanda. Tell us more about that in your early days in Hollywood.
Well, my first big break came when I did a film called Hotel Rwanda, which I'm sure some of your viewers would have seen, and that I shot while I was in South Africa, and it was an amazing sort of journey for me to do that film. And the film was luckily nominated for Oscars, and that really helped me sort of move into an international sort of space. And then I went on to do Pirates of the Caribbean, Wolverine, and TV series like 24 and Zeus. Recently did King Kong versus Godzilla. So movies and television like that helped me break into the Hollywood arena.
Definitely gives me the nostalgic feeling. So, ever since your break into Hollywood, you've also been in a couple of Nollywood movies. You've witnessed a part of the evolution from your role in Last Flight to Abuja to one of the most recent ones in Kunle Afalayos and Ikulapo, where you played the king. How would you compare your experience in Hollywood and Nollywood as an actor and filmmaker?
Loved it, and I love coming back to Nigeria to work on films with good filmmakers. I did Last Flight to Abuja as well, which I had a great time doing. Anika Lapo was great. Kunle and I had wanted to work together for a long time, but his films are all in Yoruba, and my Yoruba is very, very bad. So it was great that we discovered a way of making that work and had a lot of fun and I had a lot of fun doing it. Well, okay, so what do I think the Nollywood and Hollywood, how do they compare? And what are the things that are better in Nollywood than Hollywood or vice versa? Um, I think, and how is it improving? So Nollywood is improving. It is getting better in terms of the technical ability of of the films. I think structure and story still need to be they still need to take time over that. But the stories that I've been watching recently and some of the films that I've watched recently really give me sort of food for encouragement that in time Nollywood will become a really competitive player on a global level. It still has a way to go and it still needs developing, but it really is moving in the right direction. And I think more attention to detail is required. But that's beginning to happen with the new generation of young filmmakers. And I think that they need to continue that approach. And we will see in time, hopefully sooner rather than later, you'll get a Nollywood film that's nominated for an Oscar. Being at AFRIP, I'm coming to Zuma, the film festival in Abuja. I've been watching some wonderful stories and storylines and story ideas coming out of the Nollywood space. So I'm really excited by the potential of it. But the work and the graft needs to be done. There still needs to be a lot of hard work to really fit into an international filming space.
So I want to take you back to Hotel Rwanda. Hotel Rwanda is based off a true African story. So in relations to that, what African characters and stories do you hope to be a part of?
I played Mugabe. I played Mugabe in a film which I think is yet to be released. I don't know what happened to that, but it was wonderful doing that character. I would love to play my next character. I would love to play is Kwame Nkrumah, and then obviously I'd love to do a history of Nigeria, a TV series or a film. So we need to sort of establish and get back to creating our and celebrating our African heroes and our African Renaissance, which came through people like Ololuwa, Ezekwe, and all of those people that were around during the 60s and how Nigeria came to be. We need to sort of get the young people to understand our history. So I love the idea of playing these characters. I'd love to see a film on Thomas Sankara as an example. There's been a film on Patrice Lumumba, but we need more of those films that talk about our history as in a continent, as well as different types of films that tell a different narrative, and tell a narrative that is open and available to us to learn about who we are and where we come from and where we're going. I think those films are very, very important.
So what legacy do you hope to leave behind through your work as an actor and filmmaker?
I think if I had the, legacy, I don't know, I never think about that, but I mean, I suppose what I would want to leave behind is that fact that, you were inspirational in putting African film and African filmmaking and African actors on a global scale, on a map, and encouraging the next generation of filmmakers to really begin to tell our African narrative, and not only to encourage that so that our stories become global, but also for our own young people, so that we understand where we come from, the diversity of our journey, and rather than the narrative that sometimes is held out there, which is not necessarily a narrative that is really us. We need to start to tell our stories from our perspective, and I hope that I'm one of those people that have been encouraging in that sort of space. That's the sort of legacy that I would like to leave.
While we're still reflecting, what advice do you have for African creatives looking to leave for Hollywood to start off a career or create?
Well, for young people leaving the country to go to Hollywood and various other places, I think first things first is you've got to do really well in your own hometown before you decide to move off anywhere. Going to Hollywood means that you're just one of a million other people trying to do that. And actually, you can be a bigger fish in your own little pond and be more creative and get more opportunities back home. So that's the way that one should really start. I understand why people think that, Hollywood is the way to go and that's where the be all and end all. But actually, the creativity as a younger person should start from you back home and becoming a big fish in your own hometown before you decide to try and move off to Hollywood. We as Africans, we must, it's a shame that we have to go off and spread our skills elsewhere. Many of us don't want to. We have the most beautiful continent on the planet. We just need to be in a space with our leadership that empowers that and empowers the youth to want to stay home and to develop our continent, develop our country. It's a really important space. We have an amazing continent. It's stunning. We have an amazing people. They are beautiful. We have everything that we need apart from the stability of leadership that will enable us to sort of want to be at home and want to sort of stay and want to sort of empower ourselves. So that part is a shame, but I think that we must try and build it. As the young people must come in and must build it from home so that people want to come to Africa, not the other way around.
That's an African vision I hope to see.
Yeah. You as a young person, of course, you hope to see it. And I hope to see it for my children. I really, really do. I mean, I've been all over the world, and I can tell you one thing: we have the most beautiful continent on this planet, and we have to understand that. We have everything, and until we, as a generation, and you young people as a generation, stand up and claim it, everybody else is going to claim it and take us away. Nigerians in America are some of the most highly educated people in that country. Nigerians in Europe and England are. If we could come home and harness that power at home, we will be the most powerful nation on this planet. So we must start to think like that, not think outwards. But we need help. We need leadership that really wants us to be well and not be second class in this world, but be first class in this world.
On a lighter note, let us talk about Afrobeat before we let you go. Afrobeat is mainstream at the moment. It has taken center stage in music globally. How does this inspire you as an African filmmaker and actor?
Let me tell you about Afrobeats. Afrobeats is what I'm talking about. It's homegrown. It came from the youth and from the streets of Nigeria, and now it is going over and conquering the world. And that is what will happen with our films. It's homegrown. We have to tell it with our voice, our own voice, tell it from our perspective, and then the world will come and listen. Afrobeats is an amazing thing. It's great to hear that. Every country in the world knows Afrobeats. So what they've done is truly amazing and truly incredible. But it shows that what we can do in film and television as well. Tell our stories from our perspective in our way, and then nothing will stop us. The world will start to listen because we are unique. We have a wonderful way of telling stories. We have a wonderful way of expressing ourselves. We have a wonderful way of being. And that uniqueness will resonate on a global level when we get it right.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, Hakim Kae-Kazim. It was a pleasure interviewing you for the Spotlight segment for Entertainment News.
Thank you so much for having me in.
You can catch the full interview on our YouTube page now.